Hey, up. Right, I don't know what I did over the weekend, but I woke up on Monday morning with a glass back. And I'm struggling to do anything without having to let out little girly sounds. I'm sure you know what it's like. Now, I feel like I'm sort of getting behind with the Bobber Black project, although actually I'm not, I'm running to schedule. But I literally have so many parts from Motone for this project now that it's starting to build up and I need to get on with it. So I made the decision last week that I was going to start increasing the content just to move things along. And the plan for today was to fit the Cutlass chain guard and Motone's new Scoop sort of mini front mudguard. The problem with the bobber is it's a Triumph, so nothing's ever straightforward. I managed to film the Cutlass okay, but then when it came to doing the front mudguard, well, like I say, it's a Triumph, so the whole front wheel assembly has to come off just to get at the fasteners that hold the mudguard on. And with the best will in the world, the amount of pain that I'm in at the moment, there was no way I was going to be able to manhandle a bike up onto a jack and deal with the wheel once I'd removed it. Now, obviously, I didn't get too far into it, but also it appears that you need a huge, odd-sized Allen key to get the front wheel off, and I'm not sure I've even got one of those. So I'm probably going to have to order one in to do that actual job. Now, don't forget that viewers of this channel get an exclusive 12% discount from Motone Customs from their official UK website on any part that you order by use of a discount code, which I always include with these videos in the video description down below. Now, I thought I would mention that early on in the video because a lot of people don't watch right to the end of the video, which is normally where I give that information out, and then people order bits and then come back and complain because apparently there's a 12% discount code and they didn't know about it. Well, you know now, or at least you do if you got 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. So, a really quick recap of what we've done to this bike so far. We've fitted Motone's Rialto rear mudguard, a proper bobber rear mudguard, just like it should be. We fitted Motone's plug-and-play rear wiring harness, so we didn't have to chop into the OEM wiring harness in case the bike, needs to be returned back to original. I fitted the Pico Multi rear indicators. Now, these are an interesting little piece of engineering. It's a tail light, brake light, and indicators all in one tiny little package. And I also showed you how to recalibrate the ECU to get the correct flashing rate with these indicators if you found that they're flashing too fast. These are certified to be used in all territories. They're totally street legal, as are the standard Picos, which I think represented the first part that I fitted to this bike for the purposes of this project. Again, 100% street legal, and what we've done with these parts so far is we've really slimmed down the obtrusive lighting that comes with the Bobber Black as standard, which is a common complaint amongst owners. I mean, a bobber is supposed to be a stripped back hot rod-esque motorcycle, and these big bulbous lights really sort of take that feeling away from the overall design. I've assembled a playlist of this project so far, and if you just click on the top right hand side of your screen, the information button there, that will take you to that playlist. Right, so let's have a look at this here Cutlass. The Motone part number for this chain guard is MTE206, and it's a direct replacement for the OEM part. Motone Customs excel at making better than factory replacement parts, and this Cutlass is no different. The Cutlass is made from a heavy gauge steel and it's powder coated in a semi-gloss black, very similar to the original part. I think one big takeaway with this particular chain guard that makes it stand out from a lot of custom parts is that it's got all the right curves in all the right places. So often, custom parts, especially things like chain guards, tend to be very angular because either the manufacturer doesn't have the correct tooling to make them to factory spec, or it's too expensive to make them to factory spec. The Triumph factory chain guard is a little bit featureless, it's a bit blunt and boring. So Motorn have added the sort of obligatory cafe racer holes, which historically bike builders would drill into various parts to remove some metal and make the part lighter. The theory, of course, being that the lighter you made your bike, the faster it would go. It fastens onto the bike in just two places. They've incorporated a captive nut in the rear fastening point and a slightly elongated slotted hole for the front fastening point. So it's a really simple, straightforward transfer, which is unusual for the bobber. Expected to have to take the engine out or something. Now, if you've been following this little series, you'll know that I actually removed the old chain guard when I put the Rialto rear mudguard on. So, temporarily, we just put a stainless steel nut and washer on the rear mudguard stay, because this actually utilises that captive nut on the rear end of the Cutlass chain guard. Now, I'm presuming that you will be removing your old chain guard to put the new chain guard on, but I replaced the fastener after removal, which is situated just at the top of the rear suspension cage, as you saw me removing it here. Fitting the Cutlass is quite straightforward really. Just insert it into the assembly from the rear of the bike and then line it up with the fastening points. It's best to get the rear stay fastener into that captive nut first if you can. Otherwise, if you fasten it up at the front first, because it's a slotted fixing, there may be a slight misalignment, which means you'll have to slacken it off again. So get your bolt threaded into that captive fastener and fasten it up reasonably tight. You need to still have a little bit of movement just to line the other hole up. Then when you've got it lined up, just replace the other fastener. That's all there is to it really. Then make sure that both fasteners are correctly tightened up and you're done. I know a lot of people probably find it hard to get excited about a chain guard. It's one of those parts on a bike that you rarely sort of look at or consider. But when you replace the original with a quality replacement like this, it's one of those little touches that really do stand out. Now you may notice here that it seems to sit up a little bit at the front. The original does as well, because when you sit on the bike, the suspension brings it down closer to the chain and levels it out. If it didn't sit up like that, it would snag on the chain when you sat on it. The big difference is that the original is much larger and clumsier. It's all down to the rather unique rear suspension system that Triumph adopted for this bike. Now, hopefully, my back will be better next week and I'll try and get another bobber project video out next week. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and my other videos, and in doing so helping to support this channel. I really do appreciate it. I'd also appreciate it if you would leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Now if you do that, hit the notification bell and ensure that your notifications are enabled. That way YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video on this subject, or any other subject for that matter. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, you can subscribe to my Patreon page, link down below in the video description, or by means of the super thanks button just below the video that you're watching now that YouTube has been kind enough to supply. I will of course be back next week, so until then, enjoy your weekend, ride safely, and I'll see you soon.